Welcome back, everyone. This is part 4 of the King's Castle, King James, along with Blair Chopin. And as usual, we're breaking down the week in pro wrestling, but now I want to switch gears and go to SmackDown for a moment. Because as we saw last week in SmackDown's Wild Card Final, John Cena made his much anticipated return and declared that he was coming after the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble. So last week, Daniel Bryan, SmackDown General Manager, moderates the contract signing between Cena and Styles, and naturally, Styles is as cocky as ever, saying that basically Cena has become that lazy part-timer similar to The Rock, and that he's got a lot to prove. But Cena says he's not going anywhere. He loves the business, and he's trying to expand the brand in which way he can, in every which way he can. And things just got out of control beyond repair because Cena was PO'd, if I'm being honest. So, in your opinion, Blair, very simply, we know AJ has 2 victories over John Cena. So, do you agree that Cena has pretty much everything to lose here?
Well, first of all, I kind of think Styles has a valid point. Cena has been a part-timer. He hasn't had and when he's wrestled, his record has been pretty mixed. I know part of that is he's trying to get other guys over the top. But if you had to launch a complaint against Cena, it would be that he's not there as regularly. He's taken more of that role like The Rock or like Lesnar. That his record has been pretty mediocre. And that he's lost to this guy 2 times. So, he should be talking trash to him. Everything he says is valid. I don't think Cena has any reason to explode at him. Cena's won the 15 titles?
15 championships.
15 championships.
If he wins at the Rumble, he will tie Ric Flair's record.
But also, Tiger Woods has 15 championships.
Really?
If 15 majors. And if Tiger Woods is not the same person anymore. He's a part-timer, so other golfers don't have to kiss his rings, just like other wrestlers don't have to kiss John Cena's ass. He's got to earn that again.
Well,
he's not the big fish anymore.
Well, the fact is, AJ Styles has only been with WWE specifically for about a year, and as far as I'm concerned, he may be the biggest fish in the pond right now, but that doesn't mean he's not pompous.
You mean pompous?
Yeah.
You just said pompous.
I meant pompous.
Classy, James.
Can we please not bring that up live on the web?
But anyways, I understand what you're saying. He's only been in the game for a year. But in the time he's been in the game, he's beat this guy twice. This guy has a mediocre record. And he's only participated part-time. So I don't understand what he's saying that's wrong.
Well,
you could say he owes him a degree of respect.
Well, I will say this. John Cena has a chance to prove himself next week. Because we now understand that due to his involvement where he attacked John Cena during the contract signing, next week, John Cena will go one-on-one with another rising star on SmackDown, the Lone Wolf, Baron Corbin. And we're talking about the same guy who made his main roster debut at WrestleMania, winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal this past year. And this guy's ruthless. So if you ask me, Cena's in big trouble.
Yeah, and it comes down to what the WWE wants from Cena, right?
Yeah.
Do they want him to have one last title run? Or do they want him to be this part-time guy that pushes other superstars over the hump?
You know what I think?
Because, you know what, in the past couple years, he's lost a lot of matches, like AJ Styles pointed out.
Right.
But he's also put on, some of the best matches we've seen.
And the fact is, this year, he really didn't have that many matches because he was out until May, Then the storyline with AJ Styles happened that led into Money in the Bank, and then the brand extension. So since SummerSlam, he's been out getting publicity, so he really hadn't had a chance to have that many matches.
So it's what it really comes down to is what they want John Cena to be.
Right.
Because he is the guy in the company who can go out to ESPN, to SNL, and he can promote the brand that way, right?
Yeah.
Or is he better off winning titles and promoting the band? Or is he better off getting guys over the top in classic matches to promote the band?
Well, I'm going to echo something JBL said on the new WWE Network series, Bring It to the Table, this past week. Nobody has done more for the company than John Cena. Nobody invokes more of a reaction than Cena. Nobody sells more merchandise than Cena. So,
well, the WWE didn't disassociate from one name. They would argue that he did more.
So while
Hulk Hogan did more for the company.
So here's the thing:
Cena.
While it may be a good thing for Cena to go out and get publicity for the company in other ways, it's also a good thing to keep him in the company for as long as you can.
Well, there's got to be a mix of both, right? I think you can do both. Like you can promote it by having him in like almost main event matches that makes more people interested in the event. Because let's see, he drives, he gets eyes on the action, even if people don't like him. It's like how the Cowboys have 4 of the 5 highest rated games in the NFL. You think about it, a lot of people don't like the Cowboys, and they watch them because they want them to lose. And a lot of people love the Cowboys, and they want them to watch them win. It's the same thing with Cena. So he could be effective while being in the product, but he's also the guy that can reach wider audiences. I would say him reaching SNL is a big deal, because I think SNL's
Huge.
A lot of their audience does not watch the WWE. I think that's fair enough to say. And it's a pretty huge audience. ESPN. A lot of people who watch ESPN, now some do, don't watch the WWE. And there's more people, in fairness to the WWE, they do a great job. There's far more people who watch SNL and watch these shows than watch their product. So it's a big deal.
Wow. You may be right about that. But in another related storyline here on SmackDown, we also saw this past week the crowning of a new Intercontinental Champion in the Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose. Now, I bring that up because there's been some interesting little shenanigans going on between Dean Ambrose, The Miz, Maurice, and Dean Ambrose's off-screen girlfriend, Renee Young. For those of you who don't know, Renee Young is actually the backstage reporter for SmackDown, and she's the co-host of Talking Smack with Daniel Bryan. But she is actively dating Dean Ambrose.
IRL? In real life?
Yes.
Okay.
So 2 weeks ago, Renee Young was in the ring trying to get an interview with Miz about him dodging a competitor. But then Miz decides to get personal by bringing up Renee's relationship on national television. So what does Renee Young do? She slaps the Miz right in the mouth. Well then, last week, last week the Miz says he will only take questions from Renee Young. Next thing you know, when she goes to do the interview, the Miz gets attacked by Dean Ambrose. So that leads to the title match. Well then, before the title match, Maurice steps over the line by slapping Renee Young backstage. Then Ambrose wins the title, and then we find out on Talking Smack that due to her actions, Maurice has been fined $5,000 for, in Daniel Bryan's words, slapping a non-in-ring talent. So my question to you is this.
Daniel Bryan playing a little Roger Goodell.
First of all, do you think Renee Young stepped over the line? And if so, do you think they'll be gutsy enough to actually put her in the ring at some point as an active wrestler?
Well, all I know is whatever the fine was, that won't actually come out of her contract. So we can clarify that. That's not real. Everyone's all right. Don't worry about her money. And I'm not sure. I guess I don't know what the angle really here is. I don't know what they're trying to get out of this.
Well, here's the thing.
It's always good. It's always good, though. I will say this. It's always good when you have these. You can invoke real life into a plot line. I mean, we saw this in the late '90s when wrestling was at its apex.
Yeah,
there's fights outside of people's houses.
The legal dispute between Ric Flair and Eric Bischoff in WCW led to Flair being exiled from the company for about a year.
Yeah, I mean,
so that was real.
But yeah, that's probably not real. But yeah, things like this, I think they always attract people because, especially now, we're in a reality TV culture. And I think one of the pitfalls of the WWE being TV PG now is that you can't do as much of this stuff anymore.
Well, see, here's the thing, and this is coming from the true fan in me. Here's the thing. I admire the fact that they want to push the boundaries in that way. But that being said, I think both sides here are a little unprofessional, and I say that
tonight.
I say that because, for one thing, it has been documented that Renee and Dean are in an active relationship because we've seen that on Total Divas. That being said, anything, in my opinion, that's being seen on Total Divas needs to stay off of the live.
Oh, I think that's BS.
Off of the live storyline.
Stop it.
Now,
stop it. Okay.
No.
Hold on.
Do I think...
No, hold on.
That's
a ridiculous point.
Hold on. Do I think Renee deserves a chance to get in the ring if she so wants to? Absolutely. But that being said, she has been totally unprofessional in my estimation as a broadcaster is concerned. Because it's our jobs, or excuse me, it's their jobs as announcers to stay unbiased and away from the competition, describe what they see adequately.
That's not true either.
And by slapping The Miz 2 weeks ago, Renee Young brought everything on herself. So as far as I'm concerned, Renee didn't deserve to be slapped by Maurice, but she should have slapped The Miz in the first place.
Okay, 2 points here. First of all, if they have their relationship broadcast on Total Divas, a reality show, they're divulging that information to the public. Okay?
Yeah.
If they wanted to keep that private, they very well had the opportunity to, but they're showing it off on Total Divas or Divas in Your Eye. And, if they're doing that, it's fine to use it in a storyline. Because it's already a storyline on the other show, which is a WWE property. Second point is, the WWE announcers have never been unbiased. I mean, JR is the best in the game, but he had a rooting interest. Michael Cole has rooting interest. Their job, specifically to me, is to make the match as exciting as possible. And sometimes that connotates bias.
Well,
my point
that's why the color commentators are there.
No, but the play-by-play commentators are also, or blow-by-blow, I don't know what they call it in the WWE, are also biased.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wouldn't criticize her on being unbiased. I don't think it's unprofessional. I think it's kind of what the WWE's been missing since the Attitude Era. Everything's been kind of predictable and by the book.
Yeah.
To a certain extent. Not everything, but some things are. And these are the kind of storylines that got them over the top. Invoking that kind of personal stuff and brothers hating each other, what people getting married and divorced and all that kind of crazy stuff.
Well, I do have some...
You got 30 seconds.
You mentioned brothers.
30 seconds.
I do have some huge news as it relates to next week's Raw, and we'll get to that after this, plus what's hot, so stay right there.